I think the key turning point was in 2013 when the Yanukovych government had indicated that they were willing to sign a cooperation agreement with the European Union. This was popular in Ukraine, and at the last moment the Yanukovych government backed down from signing this agreement, and in part under some pressure from Russia, which offered a very generous financial package to the Ukrainian government. There was much debate about how that was going to be used. Following this decision to pull back from signing the agreement, there began large protests on Maidan Square to encourage the Ukrainian government to move closer to Europe in a general sense and to sign this association agreement in particular. Following the annexation of Crimea, the United States and the European Union levied targeted sanctions against specific companies and specific individuals, including travel bans, bans on any kind of long-term borrowing, which has had some economic impact. The sanctions are not kind of broad-based sanctions designed to bring down the Russian economy or cripple the Russian government, but they are very targeted at companies and firms that are doing business in Crimea or in some way were involved in the decision to back the rebels in eastern Ukraine. It's never a good sign when a ceasefire agreement has a number after it, because that means the previous efforts have failed. So Minsk was a failure. Minsk II was signed in February 2015, and the Ukrainians were really under duress at the time. So it's not a very favorable agreement towards Ukraine, but it consists of three main sets of conditions. One set of conditions is ceasefire and the pullback of heavy weapons from the area in which the fighting is taking place. A second set of conditions is constitutional changes in Ukraine that would allow for special territorial status for the territories controlled by the pro-Russian rebels in Donetsk and Lugansk, including elections. And the third part, which is supposed to come into play only after elections have been held, is the Russians are supposed to give up control of the border back to Ukraine. Now, from their very inception, they've been plagued by poor implementation. Fighting on the front has continued, shelling continues. Every day there are casualties. One issue that the next president is likely to face is a decision about whether or not to send defensive weaponry to Ukraine. It's been a very vociferous debate in Washington about this issue, and President Obama has been against it, although there are many in Washington who feel that this would be a prudent step to try to limit what is seen as Russian territorial expansion.